Hello everyone, today we're going to be reading some of the files that we found in the last couple episodes of Control. So, if you enjoy the lore of Control, then this is the video for you. And if you do enjoy, please leave a like, it really does help. So, let's get right into it. Okay. Hiss Ranger, Airborne. Field research on Hiss entity, Hiss corrupted Ranger, Airborne. Confidential. Summary. This subgroup of Hiss corrupted Rangers has manifested the ability to levitate. Similarly to Hiss elevated agents, however, these airborne Hiss Rangers display no telekinetic abilities and simply continue to use mundane Bureau weaponry. This evolution being so similar to the elevated possibly indicates the Hiss can share permutations through a type of network or perhaps osmosis. However, the fact that this development in Hiss Rangers has only been observed in the investigation sector may indicate that an environmental factor is responsible. They could be responding to an altered item or other paranatural element found only in that sector. Or perhaps, this is the natural progression of the Hiss Ranger phenotype. Not enough time has passed to determine a conclusive trajectory of development for each of the Hiss manifestations, assuming any such trajectory exists. Refer to file blank for a full report. Airplane Evaluation Order. Altered Examination Request, Airplane Wreckage. Summary. The airplane in question has been brought in from a private airfield located in the town of Blank, Cincinnati. It is suspected to be connected to the Blank Altered World event. See case file blank for details. And is being evaluated for altered status. The plane is currently being stored in the transit corridor in the containment sector, brought there through the New York subway tunnel, Special Access Blank, for more information on the tunnel, and links to urban legends centered on ghost stations, abandoned tracks, and Blank. See file 4521. The plane's black box is currently being evaluated for blank, and initial readings have been taken by the research team, though no altered status has been detected. Refer to file 912-8371 for full report. Official Findings Report. Illegal Altered Item Market. Summary. A black market hub specializing in the trade of occult talismans, relics, and other assorted ceremonial objects. As well, genuine altered and paranatural materials was raided in Blank, Czech Republic, by a team of special investigators. Unsuccessful attempts by suspects to escape using altered items resulted in numerous casualties and prevented the Bureau from questioning all participants. The following interrogations revealed that not only is there a vast network of these retailers, but that they seem to be gathering information on altered items and other paranatural materials from sources unknown to the Bureau. The Bureau's concern is threefold. A. There is a growing underground market for paranatural materials, which implies a growing awareness for their existence among the niche group of the general public. B. These criminal individuals do not seem aware of the item's paranatural powers, and their attempts to activate them could prove devastating if done in populated areas. C. The motivations of these collectors are largely unknown. Refer to file 512-221 for full report. Paracriminal Profile. The Blessed Organization. Summary. This group/individual has operated outside of the Bureau's notice for decades, perhaps longer, displaying a level of skill and caution rarely seen in paranatural groups, or paracriminal groups, rather. A review of the past cases has found various mentions of their activity over the years. In 2016, a production company called Blessed Pictures was connected to an altered item case, as well as the death of an agent from exposure to illicit paranatural materials. In 1994, a Los Angeles-based public speaker named Chester Bless was involved in the illegal use of an altered item. In 1988, a business called Blessed Repair and Service was suspected of involvement with an object of power case, perhaps even creating it. None of these businesses or individuals have ever been located, however their connections to appearances of altered items and objects of power is too direct to be considered circumstantial. An arrest order has been issued for any persons believed to be involved with the Blessed organization. Refer to File 739-922 for a full report. Official Findings Report re Dr. Casper Darling, Internal Confidential. Summary. Per authorization from Mr. Kurland, Internal Investigation D-84-5 was launched into the ethical practices of Dr. Casper Darling, Head of Research. Despite the accounts of anonymous blank regarding inhumane treatment of a blank currently housed in the Bureau, our official findings regarding this were inconclusive. Numerous obstacles arose during this investigation. The majority of blank sector personnel seemed to be wholly unaware of any such blank contained there. One blank confirmed the blank's code name to be blank, but all files pertaining to that name were inaccessible, being classified under the highest clearance level. Investigators were similarly blocked from entering the blank research wing to interview its staff. The matter was further complicated by the lack of clarity on whether non-human paranatural entities warrant humane treatment. While this investigation cannot address any charges against Dr. Darling, we do recommend an investigation into blank research. Refer to File 982-136 for full report. Official Findings Report re blank Internal Confidential. Summary. Pre-authorization from Mr. Kurland, blank was launched into the blank of Director Zachariah Trench. A recent change in blank witnessed in Dr. Trench, including aggressive blank when other staff has been observed. However, this investigation is aimed at interpreting this issue rather than proving it. Notable redacted between Dr. Trench and Dr. Darling has been witnessed by numerous Bureau staff, although both declined to meet for an interview on the matter. Witnesses' accounts suggest their arguments center around the Dimensional Research Wing and the redacted kept inside. However, no evidence exists to confirm Director Trench's redacted as anything more than interpersonal disagreements. This investigation has concluded that Director Trench's behavior is not indicative of any redacted and that his fitness to lead is not in question. Refer to File Redacted for full report. Ocean View Motel Observation Report. Details. An incursion into the Ocean View Motel and Casino discovered a previously unseen door in the lobby hallway. This door featured a spiral-shaped marking. Designation Door Redacted. Similar to other doors, it is locked and cannot be forced open. Alice Wake, a person of interest in the Bright Falls AWE, refer to File AWE-35 for details, and the former wife of missing author Alan Wake, a suspected para-utilitarian and redacted, contacted agents Shaw and Dempsey of the investigation sector using the phone number given to her in 2010 in accordance with civilian outreach protocols. The call resulted in Miss Wake being brought into the oldest house for an in-person interview. For a full script, refer to File Redacted on Redacted 2017. The incursion into the Ocean View Motel occurred later that same day. Conclusion. Determining whether this was a basic synchronicity event, if Alice Wake is responsible for its appearance, or if the door itself relates to AWE-35 is paramount. She should be returned to the oldest house, possibly even taken into the motel itself to confirm if any other changes occur. Federal Bureau of Control, transcript of conversation, subject Dylan Phaeton, for review by Dr. Darling. Confidential. Note, subject was alone during this outburst. Dylan Phaeton, 1752-16. You again? I thought I told you to leave me alone. Dylan Phaeton, 1752-22. Why are you showing me this? I can't do anything. Can't you see where I am? Why don't you help me and get the fuck out of here? You always show me things I can't do anything about. Dylan Phaeton, 1752-36. Stop showing me her. I don't care anymore, and I don't care about you. You both left me here to rot. Dylan Phaeton, 1752-46. Fuck off, you bitch. I will dig my own brains out if it means getting rid of you. I don't want you here. Get the fucking message. subject repeated the phrase "fuck off" numerous times before being sedated at 17:53. Official Findings Report. Re. The Prime Candidate Program. Internal Confidential. Summary. Pre-authorization from Mr. Kirtland, Internal Investigation P-142-9 was launched into the legality of the Prime Candidate Program, redacted, by the Federal Bureau of Control. Since all known subjects relevant to the investigation used executive privilege to decline interviews, very little first-hand information was gathered. However, anonymous sources and documentation declassified by Mr. Kirtland both paint an alarmingly clear picture of systematic redacted and redacted were brought into the oldest house and placed under redacted examination and testing with the aim of appointing one as director upon maturity. This program has produced no successful cases and only resulted in the traumatic redacted of preternaturally inclined redacted. Not only is this a breach of the Ash Act, but it flies in the face of basic human redacted. This investigation team unequivocally redacted the Prime Candidate Program and recommends that it be redacted immediately. Refer to File 9A2-136 for a full report. Hartman Arrest. Official Arrest Report, Case Number 74-WA-4. Offender's name, Hartman Emil. Victim name, Alan Wake, Anderson, Tor, Anderson, Odin, blank, Lane, Rudolph, DeSalle, Wendy, Emerson, Thomas, blank. Officer names, Dennis, Special Agent Remy. Charges, Code 4, kidnapping of altered individuals, 1 count. Code 8, sanctions against altered organizations, 1 count. Code 37, obstruction of Bureau investigation, 1 count. Code 74, breaching the Ash Act, 6 counts. Additional notes. Offender's property was seized as evidence to be used in conjunction with ongoing AWE investigation. Offender's personal effects have been sent to research for analysis. After being cleared by Bureau researchers, all victims have been released. Biannual surveillance orders were signed to each except the Anderson brothers due to their senility, and Wake possibly deceased. Official Findings Report. Re. Emil Hartman. Summary. Dr. Emil Hartman is an academic psychotherapist that owned and operated a recovery center in blank, WA, focused on the treatment of artists struggling with creative blocks and other mental disorders. Publicly, Dr. Hartman's treatment center seemed unremarkable in its methods and purpose. Privately, however, Dr. Hartman was abusing his patients in order to utilize any latent redacted abilities they may possess with the aim of shaping redacted to his own benefit, which has earned him a Class II paracriminal designation. Note: for more on the link between artists and their ability to redacted reality through our artistic mediums, see file redacted. Investigations has proven that Dr. Hartman's illegal endeavors were conducted alone. After being approached by the Bureau during the redacted investigation, he displayed no remorse or intention to cease his actions. Dr. Hartman was taken into custody, evaluated, and released, redacted months later. Having been deemed a negligible threat, his medical license has been permanently revoked. Refer to File 7-12-8557 for full report. Jesse Faden Movement Tracking. Subject Jesse Faden, P7. Re. Eastward Movement. Cause for Concern. 9/24/2019. Departs Cheyenne, Wyoming. 9/24/2019. Arrives in Sidney, Nebraska. 9/25/2019. Departs Sidney, Nebraska. 9/26/2019. Arrives in Des Moines, Iowa. 9/30/2019. Departs Des Moines, Iowa. 10/01/2019. Arrives in Chicago, Illinois. 10/08/2019. Departs Chicago, Illinois. 10/08/2019 arrives in South Bend, Indiana. 10/11/2019 departs South Bend, Illinois. 10/11/2019 arrives in Cleveland, Ohio. 10/19/2019 departs Cleveland, Ohio. 10/20/2019 arrives in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. 10/29/2019 departs Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. 10/29/2019 arrives in New York City, New York. Interagency Cooperation Decision, NASA. Following the NASA/FBC Coordination Agreement of 1972, the Bureau has provided NASA with numerous technological advancements based on our research, including the black rock lining now found in all spacefaring vessels. In return, all data gathered during space missions is now made available for Bureau researchers to analyze. Recently, certain individuals have raised the concern that this relationship does not adequately benefit the Bureau, either intellectually or financially. A thorough examination of the costs accrued by both organizations has showed that the expense of NASA's recent launch of the Redacted far outweighs any spending related to the processing and delivery of black rock. From its medium Earth orbit, the Redacted will provide the Bureau with unparalleled resource for remotely monitoring and photographing AWE sites, a resource that would be lost if the partnership ends. Is of vital importance. Refer to File 381, 4812 for full report. P6 Victim Autopsy. Case 45-HQ-121. Case Summary. Agent killed during Redacted involving Redacted, codename P6. Autopsy findings. Blunt force injuries of the head and neck. Extensive trauma of the abdominal region. Lacerations and contusions of the upper and lower torso. Fracture of the spinal cord between the L1 and L2 vertebrae. Avulation fracture of the 3rd through 10th ribs, left and right. Blunt force injuries of the extremities. Abrasions, lacerations, and contusions of the extremities. Dislocation of left and right elbow. Dislocation of left and right knee. Conclusion. After examination, it was determined that the cause of death was internal bleeding that occurred when Redacted was contorted through his Redacted. Specimen Escape Assessment. Official Findings Report Incident Number A-49. Internal Confidential. Summary. The purpose of internal investigation X-39-7 is to examine the containment failure of specimen SI-1 that resulted in the deaths of Redacted agents. An inspection report of the containment equipment 3 days earlier showed no faults. Investigators suspect human error to be the cause, yet no department has provided any evidence to support this. Technicians were able to recover the researchers' notes on the specimen from the internal network. On the Redacted of Redacted, the specimen began displaying a sharp increase in aggressive Redacted. Cross-referencing that date with various logs found only 2 events inconsistent with the sector's daily routine. 1. The air filters were changed, and 2. An hour prior to the incident, a civilian named Alice Redacted entered the sector regarding an unrelated investigation. See interview number 65-F-124. Given their connection to the same AWE case, it is likely that Miss Redacted's presence is relevant to the specimen's escape, and the Redacted investigation is ongoing. Refer to File 6-23-721 for full report. Underhill background. Official Findings Report. Official Findings Report. Dr. Raya Underhill. Summary. Dr. Raya Underhill is a professor at the University of Woodrow in the United Kingdom, where she teaches biology with a focus on botany. Dr. Underhill once worked with the Bureau as a parabotanist stationed in the research sector of the oldest house. She served with no incidents or demerits, and is praised by those who formerly worked with her, including Dr. Darling. Dr. Underhill? Wow. Dr. Underhill has no known connections to paracriminal organizations or any record of breaching her NDAs since leaving the Bureau. Her civilian behavior has been ideal, with the exception of an ongoing personal relationship with Dr. Darling that appears to have begun during their time as co-workers in the research sector, and revisited intermittently ever since. Depending on the duration of her work in the oldest house, it may be required to have both parties sign a relationship clearance form. This investigation has found no compelling reason to deny Dr. Darling's request to offer Dr. Underhill an interim position with the aim of finding a solution to the mold threshold issue. Refer to file 708-5286 for full report. Willow Altered World Event Shipping Manifest. Inventory list of recovered materials. A hollow sphere, stone-like material. Vitrified soil, redacted, pieces of various size and colors. Animal carcass, possibly canine. Rusted metal bucket. Leather wallet. Aged shotgun cartridge. All materials to go to the investigation sector for further analysis. Ordinary AWE Stage 1.A. Witness testimonies. The first slide was a room with dirty wallpaper and dolls on a shelf. There were a lot of dolls. Dylan Phaeton, Interview 2002. The house was empty. No one lived there. We played in there a lot. It was our secret playhouse. Jesse Phaeton, Therapy Session 2010. I went to school with Neil. Some kids called him Nosebleed Neil. No, likely Neil Hosenberg, missing. It was mean. He had asthma. Tom, note, likely Tom Barlow, missing, and his gang, Freddie, likely Freddie Bartwell, missing. Hugo, note, no one by this name was found in public records, bullied him. We brought Neil to the dump to play. Dylan Phaeton, Interview 2002. Extrapolated information. Unconfirmed existence of additional slide. Designation house. Ordinary AWE Stage 1.B. Dump. Witness testimonies. The second slide we called the meadow, but it was really just an empty lot with a bunch of weeds. There was a shack and a phone line? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I'm guessing it's a flower. Or maybe it does mean phone line. It smelled like flowers there. It was powerful, intoxicating. We had crazy dreams there. It must have been because of the smell. I didn't like it. Didn't like losing control. In the dreams, everything was melting. And then, when we'd come out, everything had melted around the projector. Jesse Phaeton, Therapy Session 2010. Neil was really into it. We found out he'd been going there more and more on his own. Then Tom beat the secret out of Neil and found the projector. He and his goons took it. Jesse Phaeton, Therapy Session 2010. We thought Neil had gotten lost inside the meadow when Tom changed the slide, but that's not what happened. Dylan Phaeton, Interview 2002. Unconfirmed existence of an additional slide. Designation Meadow. Ordinary AWE Stage 2. Sled Hill Cave. Witness testimonies. After what happened at school to Miss Chester, we started spying on Tom and saw where they took the projector. Dylan Phaeton, Interview 2002. Tom and his troglodytes were using the Sled Hill Cave as their headquarters. That's where the projector was. They'd been using the temple slide, we call it, that, but really it was a broken concrete thing, like a warehouse or a bomb shelter or something. Very dark. The Nut Mother lived there with her babies. Children. I don't know. She was feeding Tom and the others her milk. They were changing into little monsters. We call them dung monkeys. Jesse Phaeton, Therapy Session 2010. Unconfirmed existence of additional slide. Designation Temple. unconfirmed existence of paranatural entity, designation not mother, EID 19,928. Ordinary AWE Stage 4.A, Town Proper, Witness Testimonies. Jesse and me followed the dung monkeys into the cave. There was a lot of them. More of the kids from town had joined up. It was really scary. Jesse grabbed the projector and we ran as fast as we could. They chased us. I fell and hurt my knee. Jesse tried to help me, but the dung monkeys were coming. They were just about to get us, but then Neil showed up. Neil looked like a dog, like a melted dog, but I knew it was him. Neil said a lot of times he didn't like being a boy, because Tom just beat him up. I think he liked being a dog. Dylan Phaeton, interview 2002. The projector wouldn't turn off, so we changed the slide to the hand. I heard her immediately. She promised to help. Jesse Phaeton, therapy session, 2010. Jesse said we could call her Polaris. It was because she was doing stars at school. Dylan Phaeton, interview 2002. Extrapolated information. Additional slide designation. Hand SID 36. Is verified Indian Bureau possession. Unconfirmed existence of paranatural entity. Designation Dog Neil. EID 19,930. Ordinary AWE Stage 4.B, Town Proper, Witness Testimonies. We went in and met Polaris. Like a star. She told us we were special. She made us special. It felt like being born, or reborn, the world fading in for the first time, familiar but somehow different. Jesse Phaeton, therapy session 2010. Polaris told us how to turn off the projector. The dung monkeys and the not mother were coming straight at us. Dylan was crying. I turned it off and they were gone. It was over. I took all the slides and burned them, all except the hand. Jesse Phaeton, therapy session 2010. Extrapolated information. Unconfirmed existence of paranatural entity. Designation Polaris. EID 19,929. Examination of paranatural entities. The Shadow. Summary. Paranatural entity A-10, aka the Shadow, is an aggressive, redacted, consisting of 3 known types. Type A. Localized manifestations of sentient, redacted, capable of occupying organic and inorganic material, as well as exerting redacted over its surroundings. Type B. Shaded individuals. Human bodies redacted by the shadow. These individuals become notably more aggressive, but do seem to retain redacted of their previous selves. Research is ongoing as to whether this condition is reversible. Type C. Shaded objects. Similar to Type B, except that inanimate objects are redacted solely to be used as destructive tools. Each type seems to work towards a shared goal, possibly targeting certain individuals, see AWE-35, which may imply a shared link to a redacted intelligence. The threat this entity poses warrants immediate exploration of offense/defense measures. The investigation sector is being outfitted with additional lighting sources, some internally powered, to prepare for the eventuality of an redacted. Refer to file 6-34-1923 for full report. Great Falls AWE-35. Details. Alice Wake, Mr. Wake's wife, was found during the Bureau investigation. She was interviewed and evaluated. She showed signs of severe mental trauma in the form of redacted memory loss. She was later directed to treatment. It was concluded that she had been trapped in the threshold during its manifestation. Notable individuals still missing after the Bright Falls events are FBI Special Agent Robert Nightingale and Dr. Emil Hartman, refer to The Creator's Dilemma, and the file re the Cauldron Lake Lodge. Bureau researchers believe this event was the result of a forceful perception of its subjective reality, stemming from Mr. Wake, overlapping on our own. Wake has been flagged as a potential para-utilitarian. See Prime Candidate Program file for more details. In 2011, a book by Clay Stewart titled The Alan Wake Files was published by Roundabout Press, New York, and Olympia. Agents interviewed Clay Stewart and suspected minor para-utilitarian sensitivity. He's placed under indefinite surveillance. Notes: a monitoring station was established at Cauldron Lake to alert the Bureau of any future activity. The Eagle Limited AWE-44 Event Summary. A train derailment resulting in 62 casualties and numerous injuries was suspected to have been the work of a paracriminal group known as Redacted. As a result of this event, the agents discovered that one of the cars had become altered with a persistent auditory event. It remains to be determined whether the AWE was spontaneous or the direct result of the sabotage. Event response. The Bureau had been tracking said group at the time, and the intel gathered suggested an event of this caliber was imminent in Bloomington. As a result, a response team on site was able to respond to the train accident site within minutes of its occurrence. They arrived to find emergency processes underway, but also equipment left behind by the suspected group. A suspicious onlooker managed to elude agents after they attempted to make contact. Further investigation of the incident site revealed a curiously undamaged train car that exhibited an altered state when entered. This individual car was secured and transported to the investigation sector for further studies. Ordinary AWE-24 Event Summary. An AWE occurred in the town of Ordinary, caused by an object of power, slide projector ID OOP-15, discovered by local children at the dump outside of town. When a specific set of slides are used in the projected images open doorways to other dimensions. Multiple slides were used by the children, resulting in the disappearance of the town's adult population. Event response. On August 30th, 2002, siblings Dylan Faden, 10 years old, CP6 materials, and Jesse Faden, 11 years old, CP7 materials, were playing at the local dump when they found a discarded slide projector. See OOP-15 case file and Darling presentations redacted for details. A team led by Director Trench and Dr. Darling arrived at the site on September 14th. The AWE had ended, but the team found the Faden children, who led them to the slide projector and the slides, which had been burned with the exception of one. Jesse escaped when agents attempted to detain the pair. In total, 17 surviving individuals were found in the town. All of them were brought in for questioning and tests, see interviews redacted, and Prime Candidate Program files redacted. Shum Arcade Cabinets AI40-PE. Both items were purchased from a closing arcade in Redacted, Michigan, as part of a program to improve employee well-being through recreation. The program was canceled before any game machines were dispersed throughout the oldest house, but not before these altered items were discovered. Supplementary information. Teams in the research sector have voiced considerable interest in the items due to the fact that they only exhibit an altered effect when physically paired together. A codependent relationship previously unseen in altered items. See research specialist Pope's paper titled The Parasensitivity of Sequels for more information. However, after proving the item's altered status, the investigation staff insisted on keeping them, claiming that they are important for sector morale. To date, numerous petitions have been filed by research sector personnel to move the items there for more extensive analysis. Globe Supplement. Wolf Globe AI72-PE. The item was found in the penthouse suite at Redacted, Toronto, belonging to David Wolf, who is being investigated for illegally dealing in altered materials. See case 13-HQ-37. Bureau agents raided his penthouse and found numerous paranatural belongings, including Redacted, and this item. Mr. Wolf was arrested. Supplementary materials. Article from Toronto Daily. So why would a 36-year-old Bay Street investment trader, filthy rich, married to a model, disappear overnight? That's the question. That's kept Toronto high society up at night this past week. Police say it's being looked into. Some nut-job radio show in the States claims he disappeared to join the Illuminati. But it's this reporter's opinion that Mr. Wolf, bored of his job, sick of his family, left it all behind to retire in some remote beach paradise. Now he's sipping Mai Tais while the world thinks he's dead. Waste mannequin AI7-KE. Continued procedure. No known procedures for preventing the item's effect. Update 3/90. Lining the atom's black cell with the newly discovered black rock has yielded positive results. Test with other altered items. Description: Altered effect. A wire and fabric waist mannequin. The waist and head are made of stained wood. The item duplicates. The trigger for this behavior is unknown. No correlation can be found in either the number of duplications that manifest during an episode or the duration for which they last before disappearing. Pink Flamingo, AI46-KE. Continued procedure. No unique procedure required. Altered status is suspected but unverified. Description: Altered effect. A plastic pink flamingo lawn ornament. 2 steel prongs extend from its underside. The item is suspected to influence atmospheric physics, altering meteorological phenomena in the area. This effect is currently unconfirmed. Appendix. New altered effect has been observed. See case file AI46.D for details. Tractor procedures. Bureau. Tractor. AI82-KE. Continued procedure. Item is not in Bureau custody. None known. Description: Altered effect. A Frank Elk tractor, olive green. Dried blood on the grill when last seen. Item is capable of vocalized responses, or growls, and unmanned locomotion, considered highly aggressive and dangerous. Background: the item first came to the Bureau's attention after the death of William Bureau, owner of Bureau Farms outside of Trenton, Texas. Local authorities arrived on scene after an employee found the mutilated body of Mr. Bureau beneath his tractor. Police arrived but were immediately driven away by the tractor. Panicked calls to federal authorities were intercepted by the Bureau communications staff. A team was dispatched. Upon arrival, the agents approached the item. It responded by growling like a bear. 3 agents were injured when they tried to detain the item, which escaped. Aerial searches for the item are ongoing. Speaking to Miss Bureau, only revealed that she had a domestic altercation with Mr. Bureau earlier the night of the incident. Whether these cases are connected is currently unknown. Bureau Tractor AI82-KE. Supplementary materials. Note: miscommunication led to a local coroner examining the body of William Burrow. Burrow William, male, Caucasian. Case summary: 33-year-old man found dead on his property. Per police report, remains obtained for coroner's office also include blood, urine, bile, stomach contents, and bone fragments. Autopsy findings: blunt force injuries, head, lacerations to left ear and cheek, blunt force injuries to extremities, dislocation of the right knee. Complete ovulation of the right upper extremity with associated fracture of the proximal right humerus. Extensive trauma to the abdominal region. Complete avulsion of multiple organs, including stomach, heart, liver, pancreas, kidneys, and portions of the large and small intestine, all missing from scene. Conclusion: it is my opinion that Mr. Burrow's death is not the result of a mechanical incident, as claimed by authorities. The removal of organs is consistent with an animal attack. Typewritten page, AI83-KE. Background: the page was discovered in an instance of the Ocean View Motel and Casino that was linked to the investigation sector. The page had been pushed into the motel's corridor from under the door with the symbol of a spiral. Redacted. Appendix: text transcribed from item. For 10 years I've tried to write my escape, only sinking deeper. I used to know where fiction ends and reality begins. Here they are all the same. It's a hideous trap, my every thought made real. Fear, desire, how can I ever know for sure I've escaped and not just lost in my own fantasy of it? The thought alone can drive you mad. The identifiable words in the scratched out portion. Falls. Bright Falls. Haunting. Wake. Alan Wake. Light switch. Ocean. Too late. And the final sentence, you've been warned. Vending machine, AI80-KE, containment procedure. None known. Testing in the investigation sector is currently ongoing. Description, altered effect. A vending machine, its front covered in a faux wooden panel. Coin operated. Buttons for selecting food products. The item generates and stores a variety of material, both edible and otherwise, in its rows of internal trays. Initial testing suggests the item reacts to the mind of the individual in closest proximity and will produce whatever they subconsciously desire. Attempts to cause the item to create a living thing, redacted, have consistently failed. Background. The item was discovered in a nursing home in redacted, Alberta, after a resident named Merle, redacted, called a local news station about a magic vending machine. The news story reported that the nursing home staff was purposefully stocking the machine with distinctive food and objects as a way to raise residents' spirits. The Bureau response team encouraged this story while confiscating the item. Mr. Dennis. A request came through recently from an FBI agent asking for all our files on Bright Falls, specifically on the disappearance of the author Alan Wake. Per the Interagency Information Exchange Agreement, I had some paper pushers gather up a folder of all the pre-approved files. Don't worry, all the inappropriate material is either missing or redacted. But I'm writing to let you know that we received this request from a special agent named Alex Casey. Sounds familiar, right? Pretty interesting that an FBI agent, sharing a name with the most famous character Wake wrote, is looking into a case dealing with the writer's fiction coming true. I think this is worth looking into, but what's your opinion? Just give the word, and I'll start surveillance on the guy. Special Investigator Gleason. To Chief Investigator Dennis. It happened again, third time this year. Something certainly has it out for our redacted. Could be raccoons. The locals certainly complain about them enough. But why the hell would raccoons keep going after a monitoring station? Doesn't add up. Anyway, I've got a Bureau tech going on site next week to take a look. Next on the list of recurring problems is the staff at the Lake House research station. How am I supposed to effectively keep an eye on redacted Lake if they won't let me see any data? Hell, I don't even know what they're researching out there. We need to petition them again to share their info with the investigations agents. It's only a matter of time before redacted hits again, and I want to be prepared. Anyway, if anyone at HQ asks why the Bright Falls report is a little thin this month, tell them it's because we couldn't take any readings in the meantime. I might invest some raccoon traps. Sincerely, Agent Estevez. Notice. By order of Dr. Darling, all work in the ordinary dump is to stop effective immediately. Resources will be allocated to the redacted departments. Details will be forthcoming. This area will be sealed at the end of the month. Please remove all personal effects before that time. Any photographic slides, the type used in slide projectors, found in the area should be delivered to Dr. Darling immediately. Mr. Kirkland. Here are the latest agents confirmed missing, presumed dead from the containment breach yesterday. Agent Jonathan Connor. Researcher Ezra Kurz. Agent Caroline Dempsey. Agent Lindsay Malcolm. Agent Charles Murray. Agent Derek Shaw. Letters of condolences will be delivered to you to sign prior to sending them to their families. You will be updated as soon as additional confirmations are made. Also, per your request, a network engineer checked out how many cases were backed up digitally. Unfortunately, a large number of active investigations were not archived yet, and the only hard copies of reports exist behind the firebrick. They're lost, I'm afraid. Resignation letter. Redacted of Redacted, 2019. To whom it may concern, It is with great anger and regret that I tender my resignation as head of the investigations of the Federal Bureau of Control. I do this in protest of the rampant disregard for my department's redacted. My staff cannot continue to work in these conditions. Previous requests and warnings have fallen on deaf ears, so I must now rely on my actions to speak louder than my words ever could. I blame this situation on our redacted, who has routinely ignored my requests for assistance in reclaiming the parts of the investigation sector lost to the redacted, loose inside. I will never forget the screams of brave agents begging for us to open that firebreak. I will carry that shame for the rest of my days. The redacted has failed his agents. I shall never forgive him for that. Sincerely, William Kirkland. Kirkland, I'm growing tired of your blatant attempts to lay your incompetence at my doorstep. I know you want this to be true, but you are head of investigations. This failure is your responsibility. What did you think would happen, holding a dangerous specimen in investigations? The containment sector exists for a reason. They are better trained and better equipped for this type of work. In fact, they have admirably taken on certain AWE monitoring responsibilities that your staff are no longer capable of. This happens more and more now. And don't think your petty internal investigations have gone past my notice. You are a worm. Everything I've done for the benefit of the Bureau, the Prime Candidate program only failed because of Darling. You are both failures, plotting against me. You are traitors, but the truth will emerge out of you. You are choosing to become my enemy, Kirkland. You don't want to be. Zachariah Trench, Director of the Federal Bureau of Control. Kirkland. So you put me on desk duty just because I did the thing I was fucking hired to do? My job? Want to know what I call that? Bullshit. Asking us to interrogate these scum without using words like altered items or AWEs or paracriminal is the stupidest thing I've heard in my life, and I've heard some fucking stupid things. They already know the facts. Hell, they know just as much as us, if not more, and they get to sit there laughing at us while we dance around our words trying not to leak classified terminology. They already know the fucking terminology. If you think pulling me off this case will stop me, then think again. That piece of shit blew up those tracks. He killed those people. All to make a train turn altered. We have him dead to rights, and you need to let me back into that interrogation cell so I can get him to flip on his buddies. These people are terrorists, and deserve to be treated as such. This won't stop unless we stop them. You can go ahead and put me on suspension. See if that slows me down. Agent Hewitt. Mr. Kirkland, we stopped at Keystone on our way to the target AWE. Like you asked, I'm sending my reports directly to you to try and keep a lid on this Grumman Morals desertion issue. We didn't find any sign of them here. Given their records, it is possible they switched teams, like you suspected, but I don't think that's the case. An event definitely occurred here in Keystone, and I think Grumman and Miles got caught up in it. The entire population has vanished into the thin air. Reminds me of the Ordinary case, but that was just the adults, if I'm remembering the file correctly. This is different. I think our guys are casualties, not traitors. If it was an AWE, it seems to be over. We walked through the whole town, and the only strange thing we noticed were markings on various buildings. 2 overlapping circles, with a dot in the shared space. Could be unrelated. I'll show you the pictures when I get back. In the meantime, you should send a team out here to cordon this place off, and maybe get the comms guys working on our cover story. Sincerely, Agent Keenum. Mr. Dennis. So yes, there's an increase in AWE cases, and yes, it would be a good idea to put together a special task force to examine exactly why that is. However, it seems that a tiny little detail has slipped through the cracks. We don't have the damn staff. If you expect us to detect, investigate, and process more AWE cases, you need to give us more people. It's simple math. Between the staff we lost in the Hartman thing and the ones who left for other departments after Kirkland quit, we're barely managing to keep up with the workload. Hell, just filing the paperwork for all the altered items we left behind in the sector has been an ordeal. Another thing, and this is going to sound paradoxical, but we have an overcrowding situation. The lobby isn't meant to accommodate a whole sector's worth of staff. We put forward a motion to move investigations to a more suitable location months ago. It better not be sitting on your desk. The people are getting restless, And as Kirkland's interim replacement, it's your job to handle it. Best regards, Agent Grayson. I see your creepy teeth delivery and raise you a dead dog. Yeah, like straight up deceased dog. Had a collar on it and everything. It's been rotting in that box since they packed it up. Go ahead and imagine how that smelled. So don't go whining to me. I wish I got to watch a parade of human teeth. Guess who just had an inspection on an inbound delivery of like 100 teeny tiny little boxes? Me. That's who. And you know what's inside each one? A single human tooth. Fucking gross. Hello? My feet gossip at night. And now I have to wear shoes to bed. Sincerely, me. Alright, unfortunately everyone, that is the end of this video, but subscribe, like, or leave a comment if you enjoyed. It really does help, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.